In this video, we are going to learn how to work with prepared statements. So we have already seen prepared statements when we were using MySQL to connect our PHP to our database and perform various operations. But now we have been using PDO for a while, and now let's see how to use prepared statements in PDO. Now there are lots of advantages of prepared statements. Whenever you want to execute a single query multiple times with different values, prepared statements is the best option. You can even use loops in such cases, but it would be difficult for us to change the values after each iteration. That's why prepared statements works the best, and even it is used to prevent SQL injection. Now, the main advantage of prepared statement is first the query is ready, means very firstly the process is the query is taken to the server, it gets ready for the execution, and then it is executed with the values that we pass. So here what happens, we are writing the query only once and we are passing different values. So that's why it reduces the overhead, because if we use loops, the same query will be ready and executed each and every time. So it increases the overhead on the server, and we don't want that. Okay, so I will just say here $PHP, and here I will just write the objective working with prepared statement. Okay, so firstly what I'll do, I'll just say try, and here I will first make the connection. Dollar connection is equal to new PDO, and here we know MySQL, then host is localhost, then database name is programming, and then we have username as root, and we have password as blank. Okay, so this is the way to connect our PHP to MySQL using PDO. Now you must have noticed in this video we are using the database called programming. So I'll just show you. So this is my database programming, and I'm inside the table called users. Okay, and this table users has three columns: username, email, and age. Okay, and right now it is not containing any value. I have deleted all the values that it was containing. Okay, and we will be inserting values in this table using prepared statement. Okay, now even I will write here catch block. Okay, so if let's say the connection is not established, then PDO exception, I will just make its object, and I'll just say here echo $e get message. Okay, I'll just say here. So if any exception occurs or any error occurs, the control will come onto the catch block and the error will be printed, the message. Okay. Here I will just say now $query, and I'll just write the query. Insert into the table name is users, and let's write the column names username, email, and age, and let's values will be username, it should be in quotes, username, then colon email, colon age. Okay, So now this is the syntax. See, in PDO we don't write the question mark. Instead we write something like this. Okay, now why we have written this, I will tell you, but this is how the syntax looks like. Here we don't write question mark. Okay, now what I will do is I will just say dollar connection, and I'll just prepare this query. Prepare. Okay, and I'll just store that inside a variable dollar statement. Means here I'm just preparing this query. It is not executing up. Don't confuse. Okay, preparing is not executing. Okay, preparing means we are just reading the query. Okay, and as soon as we pass the values, then we will be executing. Now I will just say dollar $stmt bind parameters, and here username dollar use, and I'll just copy this 1 2, and here instead of username we will just say email dollar email age dollar age. Okay, and now we will just pass the values. Dollar username is equal to Kevin, dollar email is equal to Vatsal. Sorry, dollar email is equal to Kevin, age is equal to 20, and now I will execute it dollar stmt execute. Okay, so this is how the syntax looks like. See, very firstly, I have made the connection, and then I have stored the query inside this variable. Now here, instead of passing the question mark, here we are, the syntax is something like this. Now I'm just preparing the query in the next step, and then I'm binding the parameters. Okay. Now what I'm saying is store the value of this variable inside this. Okay. So basically I will be passing a value. So here I have stored Kevin inside the variable username. So this Kevin will be stored inside this username, means the here it will come as Kevin. Then same way for email is stored inside this variable, and I'm just binding this email to this. So basically here it will be kevin@gmail.com. So this is how the syntax looks like, and then after specifying the values we are just executing it using the function execute. Okay, we can have multiple values. Now let's say I will just say username. Now let's add one more row. I will just say Vatsal. Then we have dollar email, and let's say here Vatsal at gmail.com, and here I will just say dollar age is equal to, let's say, 25. So I'm inserting two rows and I'm just executing it. Okay. So here we are just preparing the query only once, and then we are executing it multiple times with different values. So this is the much more efficient method than MySQL. Okay. So this is much more efficient method than running a query using a loop. Okay, so now we will just save this. Okay, so what we will do now is I'll just say here echo rows have been inserted. I'll just say like this, and okay. And now we'll run this. I'll just go to here and let's reload this. Okay, so it is saying something. Number of bound variables does not match the tokens. Okay, so we have an error. Okay, let's see what. Okay, so I got what the error is. I'll just solve it. Here we don't have to pass them inside the quotes. Okay, just don't pass them inside the quotes. Okay, that's why it gave us the error. Now I will save it and let's rerun the program. Okay, so it says rows have been inserted. So I'll just go to my admin and let's reload this so that we can see the values. Okay, so the two rows have been inserted. Okay, and the mistake that I made was I wrote them inside the quotes, but you don't have to write them inside the quotes. Okay, so this is how the syntax looks like. First we write the query, instead of question mark we write something like this, and then we prepare this query, and then we bind the parameters, and then we just pass values to this variables, and then we execute it. Okay, so this is how the prepared statement works in PDO, and it is much more efficient than running a query using a loop. So this is all about prepared statements. Thank you.